All right, buckle up because we're diving into Black, that Tamil thriller that has everyone buzzing.
Oh yeah, this one's right up your alley, especially since you love those mind-bending sci-fi stories.
A couple's relaxing beach vacation takes a seriously creepy turn.
Think Groundhog Day with a dash of Twilight Zone,
Yeah.
but with that distinct Tamil cinematic flair.
We're breaking down a review from Movie Memes Media to see if Black lives up to the hype.
And from what I've gathered, this one's a real head-scratcher.
Okay, so picture this. A couple on vacation, suddenly they're trapped in these bizarre repeating loops.
But it's not just the same day on repeat. They start encountering different versions of themselves.
Doppelgangers on a beach vacation.
Now that's a recipe for disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And the real kicker, the film makes you question if it's some supernatural force at play.
Or maybe something far stranger.
The review hinted at the science behind it all, and knowing you, that's going to be right up your alley.
Give us a little taste. What kind of science are we talking?
Well, they don't shy away from the complex stuff. It dives into quantum physics, quantum entanglement to be precise. They use it to explain these time loop experiences.
Whoa, hold on. So we're not just talking deja vu here.
Not even close. Imagine deja vu, but through the lens of quantum mechanics.
Okay, now that is a whole other level of weird.
Exactly. And it gets even more interesting. Black is actually a remake of that 2013 film Coherence.
Oh, I remember that one. The one with the dinner party and the comet.
That's the one. It's a cult classic for a reason. To take that and adapt it for a Tamil audience while still making it fresh? Ambitious.
Talk about a challenge. And from what the review says, Black seems to capture that same mind-bending essence of the original. This review called it a total mind-bender.
Which, let's be honest, you absolutely love. Being trapped in a time loop, but instead of the same day, your reality is constantly shifting, and you're meeting different versions of yourself.
It's like a nightmare, but with a scientific twist. And the film doesn't explicitly answer the big question, does it? Is it supernatural, or is there some scientific explanation for it all?
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Keeps you guessing, keeps those gears turning.
And speaking of keeping us on the edge of our seats, the review mentioned a scene where Vasanth, that's Jiiva's character,
Right.
he tries to use his knowledge of this quantum entanglement thing to break free from this terrifying time warp. I mean, how cool is that?
It's not every day you see a film blend those complex scientific concepts into the heart of the narrative.
No kidding, and it sounds like they're doing it in a way that makes sense within the story.
It's not just thrown in for a cool factor. They're really trying to ground those strange events in something tangible, something rooted in scientific theory.
Okay, that's what I like to hear.
Makes you think,
All right.
What if there's more to these scientific theories than we realize?
And what if those theories held the key to unraveling the mysteries of our own existence?
Now, that's a thought-provoking concept.
And hold on, the timeline for this film isn't straightforward either.
Oh, tell me more about that. I know you love when a movie plays around with time.
It kicks off with a scene all the way back in 1964.
1964. Now, that's a blast from the past.
Right. And according to the review, this isn't just some random flashback. This opening scene supposedly holds the key to unraveling the mysteries that unfold in the present day.
Intriguing. So we're talking about a film that spans decades and potentially even different realities.
It seems that way. And you know what they say? The past always has a way of catching up to the present.
And in this case, it might hold the answers to the most mind-boggling questions of all.
A 1964 opening that unlocks the present-day mystery. This film just keeps getting more intriguing.
Right. It's like they're setting the stage for a story that's deeply rooted in history, maybe even hinting at these cyclical events or these repeating patterns.
It really makes you wonder, are these characters actually experiencing something new, or are they caught in this cycle that's been playing out for decades?
Now, that's a chilling thought, and it plays perfectly into the whole trapped in a time loop concept.
And, you know, speaking of the characters, the review actually spent some time on the performances, especially Jiiva, who plays Vasanth.
Ah, Jiiva. I'm always excited to see him on screen.
Well, get this. They say he's back in top form for this one.
Really? That's great to hear.
Yeah, nailing the character's confusion and determination as he's trying to unravel this whole mind-bending situation.
See, this is what's interesting to me. That whole return to form comment. It makes me wonder if this role, this character, Vasanth, if it allowed Jiiva to really sink his teeth into something special. I mean, you need both vulnerability and a certain strength to pull off a character navigating this kind of disorienting reality.
It makes you think about the actor's journey, how certain roles can reignite that spark, right?
Exactly.
Now, we're talking about the performances, and I have to ask about Priya Bhavani Shankar. She plays Aranya. The review, it seemed a bit lukewarm about her performance.
Oh, how so?
Well, they called it pleasant.
Pleasant.
Isn't that like critics speak for meh?
Yeah, pleasant isn't exactly high praise in the world of film criticism. But remember what we were talking about earlier? Filmmaking. It's a collaborative effort.
True.
It's easy to focus on the individual performances, but there are so many factors that go into it. Maybe the direction or even the writing itself played a part in shaping her performance. Maybe Aranya, her character, is intentionally written as more of an enigma.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like someone who holds back, especially in this chaotic situation, that could explain the perceived lack of depth.
Exactly. There might be more to it than meets the eye.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in judging individual performances without considering the bigger picture.
Right. And speaking of the bigger picture, we have to talk about the way this film is structured.
Because I know you love a good puzzle, and this review called the pacing a puzzle box.
Puzzle box. Okay, that just screams intentional, calculated filmmaking to keep you guessing. It's like the director is handing us pieces of a puzzle, but in reverse order.
Yeah, forcing you to rethink everything as the story unfolds.
Exactly. And with each new piece, you're forced to ask yourself, what did I miss? How does this change things? That's what keeps the audience hooked.
And keeps those theories coming. I mean, it's like you're right there with Vasanth and Aranya, questioning every little detail, trying to put the pieces together.
Oh, absolutely.
And the review specifically mentioned that Black uses this reverse engineering technique to tell the story.
Which, knowing your love for those mind-bending narratives, has to be right up your alley.
Oh, it definitely keeps things interesting.
But you see, this reverse engineering, it's not just a gimmick. It plays into that natural human curiosity, that desire to solve the mystery. It's like those psychological thrillers we've talked about.
Where holding back information becomes just as important as revealing it.
Exactly.
And Black seems to be using this to full effect, especially with its complex themes of time loops, alternate realities. It's a lot to unpack.
It certainly keeps you on your toes.
The review wasn't all praise, though. They did have some criticisms. For one, they felt like Black might not fully delve into all those complex themes. They also mentioned the limited number of characters, which they said made the world feel a bit smaller compared to the original Coherence.
That's a fair point. Coherence did have that dinner party setting, which naturally lends itself to a larger ensemble.
Right, exactly.
But here's a thought. Maybe, and this is just speculation, maybe the filmmakers made a conscious decision to streamline the narrative.
To really focus on those core themes.
Precisely. Because think about it. You've got this intricate concept of a time loop intertwined with quantum physics. Throwing in too many characters might have muddied the waters, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. Too many players and things could get convoluted really quickly.
Exactly. And by narrowing the focus, maybe Black is able to explore the psychological impact of this experience more deeply.
It's like they're saying we're going deep, not wide.
Exactly.
Okay, so trading a sprawling ensemble cast for a more intimate pressure cooker approach.
And, regarding their point about not fully exploring every single theme, sometimes limitations can actually breed creativity. By leaving some questions unanswered, Black might actually be inviting the audience to contemplate those themes further, long after the credits roll.
It's like they're giving you just enough to spark your own deep dive.
Exactly. And isn't that what we want from a film like this? Something that stays with us.
Absolutely. So what else did the review highlight?
Well, they couldn't stop raving about the technical aspects. The cinematography, the editing, the score.
Ah, the magic of filmmaking.
It's like they all work together seamlessly to create this incredibly suspenseful and disorienting atmosphere.
Which, for a film exploring time loops and shifting realities, is crucial.
Absolutely. And get this, they even mentioned this terrifying statue.
A statue? Okay, now I'm really curious. What's so terrifying about a statue?
They didn't go into too much detail, which honestly makes it even more effective. But they said it plays into the film's overall sense of unease, of something being not quite right.
It's like they're using these visual elements to get under your skin, even if you don't consciously realize it.
Precisely. And you combine that with the film's limited setting.
Right.
Remember, they're basically trapped in this villa, and it amplifies those feelings of claustrophobia, of being unable to escape.
They're really playing with our sense of space and reality.
And they're doing it masterfully. It's like Hitchcock always said, the more successful the villain.
The more successful the picture.
Exactly.
It's like they've taken those classic thriller elements, the unsettling imagery, the haunting score, the limited setting, and they've crafted this experience that really gets under your skin, messes with your head.
And that seems to be where Black truly shines. It blends those familiar elements of Tamil cinema with this really ambitious premise. And they're not afraid to delve into some pretty complex scientific ideas.
Which is perfect for our listener who loves a film that makes them think.
Oh, absolutely. And here's the thing. We've been talking about this review, breaking it down, but it's just one interpretation, right?
Oh, for sure. Everyone's going to take away something different from a film like this.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it, especially with a film like Black, where you're dealing with these huge ideas and alternate realities, the implications of choice, what makes us us. It's almost like an invitation to look inward,
Oh, I totally agree. Have you ever, really thought about what you would do if you met another version of yourself?
All the time. Would it be a friendly encounter or something much darker?
Right. It makes you think about all the different paths we could take in life.
And the choices that lead us down those paths? Black seems to be tapping into that, and it sounds like it'll leave you pondering those questions long after the credits roll.
Which is the sign of a truly great sci-fi thriller, right? The kind that stays with you.
Absolutely. This isn't just a film. It's a conversation starter.
So for our listener who craves those thought-provoking stories, the ones that blend mind-bending sci-fi with nuanced characters and a dash of quantum physics, Black seems like it's going to hit all the right notes.
And who knows? It might even inspire a deep dive or two of your own into those scientific theories we've been discussing.
There you have it. If you're ready for a thrilling ride that will challenge your perceptions of reality and keep you guessing until the very end, Black should be on your watch list.
Just remember, the next time you look in the mirror, ask yourself, is that really me looking back?
Or just one of an infinite number of possibilities. Something to ponder.